You're right, guys. Welcome to the latest episode of Muscle Owl Talks. I'm here with Vivek and Sulaiman. And, well, we just thought we'd talk about something that happened over the weekend that you guys were both at. There was an employability skills workshop that was run by Muscular Dystrophy UK Trailblazers. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was a part of moving up, and it was actually a booster day for just upskilling ourselves on employability. There was quite a few kind of speakers there. Sulaiman was there as well, and quite a few other people. So it was quite a good session, really.
Yeah, Sulaiman, I was looking for your name on the speakers list. What was it all about?
It was really quite good, and so it was as Vivek said, the continuation of the Trailblazers employment things that they're doing in terms of getting more disabled people and young disabled people into work. So yesterday was basically talking about issues that we face and how we can improve those issues. And it was really quite good to talk about in terms of the access to work, in terms of the application process, and during the interview what happens. And all these issues quite difficult for disabled is that one hurdle after another hurdle. And one that was really interesting was talking to this guy, Mick Scarlett, who is hilarious. He's funny. He's really funny. He's like a comedian, like a presenter, and he's got quite a good insight in terms of, from the 80s onwards, in terms of what the environment was like and stuff. And he seems to like access to work a lot. I hate them. So it's really interesting in terms of actually looking at how we can work together. A lot of the issues are the very same issues that we face. For example, not many people, businesses in particular, don't know much about access to work and don't know much about particularly smaller businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
And like different types of businesses. So rather than just banks or like Tesco's, there needs to be a lot more emphasis on different types of businesses to get disabled people into it, and also looking at like flexible employment and different ways of working, like from home.
Working from home.
Exactly. So it's quite important because as a disabled person, it's not, for myself in particular, it's not physically possible to be in my wheelchair like 16, 17 hours a day, and then particularly in advertising agencies, most of the employees tend to work 16, 17, 18, 19 hours a day, like several days a week. That is physically not possible for me. And so even if I wanted to, I can't do it. And so that doesn't mean just because I work from home or I need to work flexibly, that I'm less creative or even less productive. It just means I don't end up in A&E and stuff. So
yeah.
And I think for me, the employability workshop was good because it was all about confidence in yourself, which as a disabled person, I've lacked quite a lot of confidence in myself. But I think it shows that not just in employment, but all throughout your life, confidence in your skills are important, and you need to fight for kind of your rights a lot more being disabled, because we're capable of quite a lot, but there's a lot of societal barriers which Sulaiman's talking about.
Yeah, I think looking at it from my perspective, I think if you're talking about working in London, I mean, people commute on the tube, which is often inaccessible, and they often spend about an hour just getting into work a day. People do that outside London as well. And, you're expected to, almost all jobs are full-time, 35, 40 hours a week. So I certainly think there needs to be more flexibility around not just the type of job, but again, how the hours are structured and how the flexibility is laid out. I don't know, Sulaiman, what are your thoughts on?
I completely agree with you. I don't think, it's particularly, I don't know, in Sweden, they're heading towards a 6-hour day work week, which, they're trying to balance having more of a family life, and I think it's quite important in that sense. And also, you're absolutely right. Like, most people have to commute on the London Underground to get into work, an hour and a half, 2 hours. As a disabled person, often at places that I want to work are in places where there's no accessible tube station. So what do? And in terms you have to drive, okay, to drive, it takes 2 hours to drive anywhere in London, regardless of what you do. So normally if I say I had to get somewhere by 10 o'clock, I have to get up at 6, so I'm ready to leave by 8. It only takes like 30 minutes to get ready, but then I had like an hour or two just to finish up some work early in the morning. I check my emails. So I leave by 8 when the daycare is gone, and it takes a good 2 hours. And because I'm so dependent on other people as well, like to drive and to get me dressed and to take me around, then that all pushes back on, where am I able to go, when am I able to go. And so it's difficult, but it doesn't mean, we just spoke a lot about like how there's a lack of information and a lack of understanding, particularly from organizations, businesses, and in particular government. They don't actually understand how disability actually works, and in terms of the support that we need, in terms of the funding we need. And it's difficult because I want to work like Vivek does. If you can't get the support or the funding in place for that support, then it's impossible. And I don't think it's fair to say, no, you can't work, it's too difficult. Because everybody has that sense of work, that sense of feeling valued is so important. The feeling that you're part of society, I know I've said this over and over, it's such a trivial thing to say, but I think just to pay taxes and to give back to society and to basically make your own income is very, very important. And so it's something that everybody should have the right to do. I'm quite passionate about that, actually, feeling valued, feeling like able to do something. And it's something that I think we need to work towards society, because many disabled people are able to work, but they don't have the right support, the flexibility, or the right way of working. Like, for example, many advertising agencies are in like trendy attics or a trendy basement. Obviously, as a wheelchair user, you can't get into there. So my argument with the creative industry, I've said this to many of my contacts and on the particular advertising agency, I said, look, as a creative agency, you're not very creative if you can't think of ways that for me to get to work. Like, for example, if I had a meeting, I could come into the Starbucks next door and come meet you. If you want me to do work, I could come in to do work out from home. If I had to come in to meet the client, I could do it over Skype. So there's ways of thinking, ways of working that you all need to, and it's not only disabled people. I think that kind of flexible employment is good for everybody in terms of, not being so stressed and not being so anxious all the time. It's like everything is just one thing leads to another, because it's like, it's good
because
to
you're in your job all day and you want like to relax a little bit while you're working, not worry too much about your disability, when in your natural life you don't think about your disability.
Absolutely, it's difficult because
Sulaiman, I love what you said about the a lot of creative agencies will have their office in some kind of loft or attic thing or up a tree, and it's like, oh, look at us being so creative, and it's like, you ain't creative, you ain't figured out a way that this man can get into your loving office.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not creative.
What frustrates me is, I said this to many people, particularly in advertising, you when I ask people, like different employees and different people, what do they do? They say, I'm a creative. And I absolutely hate that term. And what does that even mean, I'm a creative? A creative is not a job title. A creative is a way of thinking, a way of being. We're all creative. Neurosurgeons are creative. Teachers are creative. Engineers are creative. Everybody is creative. So what does that actually mean? And I find it really difficult. So now that's why I'm actually like collaborating and working on my own projects rather than waiting for jobs to come to me necessarily. So like just doing things that make me happy, and I want to be a part of the creative industry, but on my own terms, because I think if you wait for people to help you, then nothing's going to change. You have to be the change and actually be quite proactive, and it's quite tiring in terms of like constantly applying to jobs, constantly getting rejections, but you have to be persistent and resourceful and then go straight to the top, basically. And I think it's important. And often many advertising agencies in particular, I don't know if you know that, particularly, not in advertising agencies, many offices are massive open offices with white walls, and everybody sits behind the computer on the desk, right? Particularly if you're an advertising agency and your creative department is trying to come up with ideas for ads. To me, that is the least creative place to come up with an ad. Right behind the screen in an open office, you should, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, you should actually be out in the world talking to different people, doing different things, getting outside of your comfort zone. So I think it's important, and so that's what I try to do. It's always push my boundaries, always, it's like,
So, I mean, you're putting forward the viewpoint that just making employment more flexible is actually beneficial for the business, not just beneficial for an employee with a disability.
Absolutely.
I think we're certainly working towards that stage. I think where people can work from home, where people can, communicate via Skype or via computers and everything else. I think it's only a matter of time before we get to office.
The technology we have is quite new, so people just need to learn to be creative with this new technology and new possibilities.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, one thing that we're doing right now is highly creative. Vivek is in Leicester, Peter is beyond the wall, and I'm in London. So basically, it's really.
And you're in bed.
Exactly.
Exactly, I'm in bed. Exactly. I'm too lazy to get up. So. So yeah.
That's
the thing. So we had a problem. We came up with a creative solution to do it, and so it's you just have to think laterally rather than literally. How do we actually solve problems, and how do we figure out a way to do things rather than complain about problems and not finding solutions?
But that again ties in with when I say I'm a guy that likes to find solutions for problems. So I think it shows that with a disability, we all kind of have that kind of mindset. Well, we're ones here too, but just have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Right. Yeah. Let's more chats on employability skills and how employers can adapt over the coming weeks and months. I think it's been a good chat. I don't know. Sulaiman, final thought?
Final thought is that just for any young disabled person who's looking to work or who wants to work, don't lose hope. That it's very important that you have to have just stay confident, stay proactive, and stay persistent. And to any business and government in particular, just get your head out of your ass and, basically start meeting people, getting to know people, and actually, understand that we can be quite valuable assets to your organization and to your business, and just start those conversations. Just don't be afraid to interact and to say, hey, even just to say hello to people. So,
all businesses want to think outside the box. That's what they're always talking about, thinking outside the box. They're embracing diversity.
I don't believe in that. What I believe is in thinking outside the triangle, because boxes are quite boring. So, you always have to think outside the triangle. So, that's right. Yeah.
Ding! I like it. Right. Perfect episode. We'll see you all. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.